Om Narayana Namah. Hello friends. In this video we are going to understand the meaning of the Sanskrit word darshan. Normally it is translated as seeing, viewing, experiencing. It is treated mostly as a noun. Let us see some examples with their direct translation to understand the basic meaning and usage of the term darshan. I request you to contemplate on them. Let us take the first example. Bhavatah darshanam abhavat. The direct translation becomes your view occurred or your vision occurred. In Hindi, it is आपके दर्शन हुए. This might look a little confusing in English, so translators might correct it to you appeared. Please note that in the direct translation, the stress is on a vision, a view, an appearance, but in the corrected version, the stress is on you. You appeared. There is a difference between the direct translation and the corrected one. Moreover, the view occurred to whom? Me or someone else? This is irrelevant. In this example, if I am speaking to someone and telling him as such, then I-ness or ego becomes less important or missing. Your vision becomes more important. Your vision occurred. That is the central context. If one translates the Sanskrit as I had your vision, then the meaning gets polluted with stress on I had. I become the doer. I become more important. So again, there is a difference between your view or vision occurred and I had your vision. Let us consider another example. Saha darshanam karoti. The direct translation becomes he cultivates a vision. In this example, he is the doer. He is performing, nurturing something. That something is a vision. Friends, I hope you got some basic idea of the meaning of the word darshan and how it is used. Let us explore a higher meaning now. Consider a case of a teacher whose student is not taking interest in school. He observes his student carefully every day and finds a cure to the problem. Because of that solution, the student takes interest in his studies. Here, the entire vision of the problem and the journey towards the solution is the evolved meaning of the word darshan. Similarly, a good father is always in a darshan mode to realize the needs of his child and fix the emerging problems. He thinks, what can be done so that these problems don't emerge at all? Let us take another example. How much to eat? Neither too much nor too little. How much to sleep? Neither too much nor too little. This realization is also a darshan. Friends, now let us go deeper into a Vedic meaning. Before that, I would like to ask you something that I often ask. What is the color of the sky? I request you to pause the video and think or write your answer somewhere. Early morning, the sky looks reddish. Then it becomes blue. At night, it looks black. Which one is the real color? Here, to affirm that something is real is to say that it is always true. In short, it is. Or even shorter, one can say is. If it is not the truth, then it is not. Or for shorter form, one can say is not. If red, blue, yellow, black, and so on are not the real colors of the sky, then they are simply categorized as is not. So sky is neither red, nor blue, nor yellow, nor black. Sanskrit, this is not is called nasti. Now, sky is actually colorless, just like water is colorless, or like air is colorless. Guess what? The answer is not really a color, and the question, the true color of the sky itself, becomes useless as the question seeks a color. But even so, for reasoning purpose, that colorlessness is categorized as is. In Sanskrit, it is called asti. So, colorless is asti. It is a constant, the most definite and eternal answer. Once again, red, blue, black are nasti, and colorless is asti. One sees the various colors appearing in the sky, perhaps because of reflection and refraction of light. That seeing is done by the eyes, but the truth is revealed to the mind. The mind is seeing that which cannot be seen, and the eyes are seeing the relative existence, a mirage, a changing order of colors. They appear to be there, but are not really there, just like water appears as a mirage in a hot desert. This realization of the reality of sky is also a darshan. One way to realize truth is by negating what the sky is not. It is not black, therefore nasti. It is not blue, yellow, or red either. Therefore, again, nasti. This realization by negation, nasti, what truth is not, is called Nastik Darshan. Similarly, the realization of what truth is, what is asti, is called Astik Darshan. Friends, as you can see from these examples, these darshanas, whether Astik or Nastik Darshan, are scientific ways to know truth or present truth. One is neither higher nor lower. There are many scientific texts of Aryavart which propound reality by the process of negation. They come under Nastik Darshan. The ones which speak of what it is come under Astik Darshan. Friends, you'll see people who relate Astik Darshan with believing in Vedas or Ishwar. You'll see people calling themselves as Pandits stating that Vedas are higher than Bhagavad Gita, low-balling Bhagavad Gita. You'll see people translating Astik as theist, someone who believes in God. But we must realize that in the path of inquiry, knowing, realization, there is no such thing as believing. How can one believe in Ved when the Sanskrit term Ved itself means to know? It is not a name, but a body of truth realization compiled as books. Those books are in effect of a certain cause, a higher truth. That truth is beyond any form or language. It is beyond the limitation of language. Therefore, Astik should not be translated as a theist, and Nastik should not be translated as atheist. These words like atheist, theist, polytheist are Western or non Vedic frameworks and should not be used to understand Vedic language. Is it wise to reduce a superior and a scientific word like darshan to a narrow framework of believing? Please put your thoughts in the comment section. Friends, I would like to ask you, what is the meaning of Vedic study? Does it mean reading Sanskrit text and filling the mind with that text? Let us suppose I nurture an initial realization of truth, the truth of reality. Should I become arrogant or egotistical about it? Hey, I know Vedas, I know Upanishads, I am better than the others. Should I become like this? As we see, an attachment has emerged, a mental degradation. Even after reading Vedas, Dvait Bhav, duality has increased. Logically, Vedic thought should cause silencing of all mental waves. It does not mean one should not think only. If there is a certain problem, the intelligent one thinks of a solution. But arrogance, ego, deviations from solution, hijacking of thoughts by the agents of attachment are all useless cultivations. What can be done that after reading the Vedic texts, Upanishads, and even Bhagavad Gita, one does not cultivate this useless mindset? Friends, that solution too is a darshan. Please let me know in comments on what is the most appropriate and definite solution. Friends, this is a very basic video, a very preliminary understanding on darshan. To realize a greater meaning, it requires you to foster a sincere inquiry, where you'll see that the Vedic texts can have both Astik and Nastik darshanas. Unfortunately, many learned people themselves view Shastras with filters of superiority, arrogance, tags, where based on these filters they judge one darshan better than the other, and Shastras of other darshan useless. If one's mind is polluted in the first place, then what will he realize? What will he speak to others? Each Upanishad, each Tantra, each Vedic text should be given proper respect. None should be compared to the other. Each arrives at truth in its own way. For the true seeker, each Shastra makes him realize something that other did not. That seeker reads Shastras and yet he is not attached to any of them. Friends, wealth, name, fame, power are not the only sources of delusions of grandeur. Mental knowledge itself can become one. In the end, I would only ask you to contemplate on the meaning of Vedic knowledge. Why is it called Sanatan, eternal? What is truth? The truth of reality. Friends, I hope you liked watching this video. Please like and subscribe and consider a small donation to help this work on Shastras.